In today's Do Something With Your Marketing, I want to encourage both brands and influencers to rethink the alignment of your programs. So, on the brand side, make sure that you're picking influencers who can actually do something with your products and services. And this applies to B2B, B2C, doesn't matter what the sector is. Make sure that your influencers are people who have credibility and obviously have the reach and the audience and the engagement that you want, but who can also speak knowledgeably about the details. It's great if you have somebody who's sort of a general thought leader, who's like, oh yeah, I know about baking or cars or artificial intelligence or SaaS software. But that's like saying, I know about cooking, right? In a lot of cases, when an influencer is speaking to their audience wants specifics. Their audience wants to know how to do something. How do I do this? If you look at a popular influential cooking blog, cooking personality like Ree Drummond, for example, Pioneer Woman, people don't follow her because they want generalities about baking. They want to know how to make that pie over there that is composed almost entirely of butter. and they want the recipe, they want the details, they want to do it for themselves, they want to enjoy it for themselves. When people engage with an influencer in analytics, they don't want general navel gazing about measurement. They want, I have this problem, help me solve this problem. So from an audience perspective, the influencers who are aware of the big space but they can dig deep and actually do something are the ones that are going to be most supportive of your brand, because your brand's products and services and tools, etc., will probably be useful for them to say, like, hey, I made this thing and here's the tools I made it with. On the influencer side, if you are an influencer or you aspire to be an influencer, dig super deep and require, even if there's no money involved, require, like, hey, I want to represent you credibly. I need an account to your software, or a copy of your software, or your recipe book, or your secret ingredient, or whatever the thing is that you are influential about, to be able to demonstrate, this is how I used X product or service to make this thing. In my work with IBM, I use Watson Studio. And I can tell you all about the things that it does and doesn't do well. But because I have hands-on pushing the buttons experience with it, I can speak credibly about it and tell you what does and doesn't work. And so when someone has a question like, hey, how can IBM help me do my job? I can say, well, you can use Watson Studio for this, for this, for this. You can't use it for this, you can't use it for this. And it says it does that, but it really doesn't. That level of alignment between brand and influencer is essential for both to do well. Right now, you have a lot of people who are in the influencer marketing space, and it's only going to get bigger. Brain Trust Insights forecast says that 2019 there'll be 70 to 80% more interest in and activity around influencer marketing. So this is things not going away. The budgets are not going down. The number of influencers is not going down, and the number of people who aspire to be influencers is not going down. And that means it's going to get very, very hard for new folks to break in, and it's also going to get very hard for brands to know who is the real deal and who is just a generic thought leader or positioning themselves as a generic thought leader. The details matter. The details will be what separates both from the pack. If you are the brand and you're looking for influencers, look for somebody who's actually creating and doing stuff, really interesting stuff. Like, hey, I did this thing, I made this thing. Particularly on like the software side of things, look for like actual code you can work with an influencer on. On the influencer side, if you want to stand out and keep standing out, dig deep. Say, hey, there are a lot of people who are knowledgeable about Google Tag Manager. Let me show you how I use it. The 6 ways that you should be using Google Tag Manager to deal with multi-site attribution. Put stuff out like that is very deep in the how, and it shows your credibility as an influencer, as opposed to somebody saying, oh yeah, tag management's important, and and knowing your customers is important. Well, we know that. Help me understand how. I know why. I probably know what, but I don't know how. I was struggling the other day with this piece of software, and sure, I was doing some Googling about it, and there was this influential blog about it that offered no concrete solutions. But I went to this little repository on GitHub. I found a snippet of code. I'm like, that's what I need. And to me, that person whose sample code I found is far more influential to me than the person over here talking about the generalities of this code. Because like, this person actually did it. They did it. Their code works, and I'm going to copy and paste that and make sure it works in my code. And that's what you want from your influencers as a brand. And as an influencer, that's what you want to demonstrate to your brands, to say, hey, I can convince people to not just consider you in the customer journey or put you on the short list for evaluation, but in my work as an influencer brand, I can actually get people to pull the trigger because they'll be like, I want that. They don't want the generality. They want the pie, and I can give them the pie. So give that some thought when you are embarking on your influencer marketing programs, either as a brand or as an influencer. How specific can you be? How deep does your expertise go? On the brand side especially, a really good sign that you're working with an influencer that has the juice is you're having to pull in technical folks. Now this is, even if you're not a technology company, like, hey, I got this this influencer here is asking about this smokeless indoor smoker, and can it do this? Can it do this? Can it do this? Let's get engineering on the line with this person and say, yeah, you can use it like that, but you probably shouldn't. Or no, actually the safety tolerances are built to accommodate significantly more margin for error, so go ahead and do that. When you're getting questions on the brand side from influencers that are highly technical, highly specific, you're working with somebody who's got the goods. Likewise, as an influencer, if you are an influencer, be asking those questions, be trying this stuff, be trying to make the things, cook the recipes, drive the cars. Whatever it is that you do, be very specific in your asks and use that as a point of differentiation in your content to say, hey, you can read a lot of blogs about hybrid cars, but I'm going to show you how to get 14 more miles per gallon than any other blog. So that's what I'd like you to do with your marketing. Be specific with your influencers, and if you're an influencer, be specific with the brands you work with. It will work out better for both. Both will get more credibility. Both will get more results out of the program. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit BrainTrustInsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.